Welcome to my podcast. Welcome to my podcast and a very personal for me podcast because we're going to talk stress. We're going to talk breathing exercises, meditation. We're going to talk exercise in general. 4 months ago, I had the fourth stroke in my brain because of stress, and I knew that I had to do something because strokes in the brain is not good. I went on the market and I found a stress app over all stress apps that works. And I have loved it since. I'm honored to have today the CEO of this stress app that has changed my life, Sumondo.co, Vishal.
Thank you for inviting me.
Welcome. And congratulations on inventing something that really helps humankind. It sounds big, and I think it is big. Helping people with stress. Stress is a big plague out there for people, especially creative people like me. And first of all, the first question I want to put to you, how did you get the idea of making this great stress app? And why did you start on this invention?
So I lived here in Denmark, and I have studied the market. I traveled across Europe, and what I see is that to diagnose stress is asking questions, as if we are living in an age of 20 years back. Back then, we didn't have the sensors, we didn't have the technology, and we used to ask questions. Unfortunately, it is still the practice. So when I started exploring about this solution, I studied the market and I came with the idea that I bring in the digital solution, meaning objective diagnostic solution for diagnosing stress, and not by asking questions. Doesn't mean that those questions are wrong. This way of diagnosing was good when technologies were not there. But now we are in the digital age and we have advanced mobile phones, smartphones, and we have sensors and watches like this. So we have the capability of capturing the data from these wearable devices. So then I came up with the idea that why don't we take data from these and my algorithm that I invented over the time with the research collaboration and studying in this area using HRV technology. I came up with the idea that I diagnose, and not only with diagnose, but also offer stress relieving exercises. And those are music therapy, which is nature music, the breathing techniques, which are deep scientific based, Ayurveda based meditation, pranayama exercises. And then when you have done these things, then we follow you through guided meditation. And now, because of thanks to wearable devices, we can also offer other tracking tools like how many steps you are walking, running, biking, etc.
I know that you had a personal reason for working on this.
Yeah.
That's always interesting when there's a personal need, because you had something, you had a stress symptom yourself.
Yeah.
You went to the doctor, and he looked at your heart, and what did he see? What did he say?
Yeah. So I was diagnosed with the heart problem, meaning I was having pain, chest pain, and I was asking doctors, and they checked me thoroughly as per the normal protocol, which is ECG, blood pressure, and whole night arrhythmia. And believe me, everything was coming normal, and I had chest pain. So I had clearly problem in my heart. And my own app, stress app, Sumondo app, was telling me that there is something terribly wrong in the data because it was visible clearly. So I had to trust on this data, and I was feeling the pain, and that's how I started using my own data using the app. And also I started taking those exercises seriously. That means I started doing breathing exercises for half an hour. I was listening classical music. I was already into music, nature music, and I started doing meditation for half an hour, and that's my routine now. So I took that personally, and now this app not only going to help people with stress, but also going to help people dealing with their heart problem or brain stroke problem, like Asbjørn had issues, and maybe in future it could help people with the diabetic problem, because if you are stressed, your sugar level are going to shoot. So we are going to help these patients with other chronic diseases also. And for doing that, we are doing scientific validations. We have clinical certification in Europe, technically in Denmark, but it is eligible for whole Europe. And we are going for highest class of certification floor, which is under MDR regulations. So we will get through those things also done for clinical validation.
I know that you are working together with some of the hardcore doctors of researchers of University of Copenhagen.
Yes. Yeah. So yes, not only that, we have also partnered with the DTU. We have done by now 5 projects with the DTU, and we have worked with Copenhagen University researchers, and also researchers and doctors from other faculties.
Yes. And I know that you don't like to boast, but when you start using your own app and you lost how many kilos? You changed your diet.
Yeah,
right?
Actually, when I got heart problem, I did a lot of things in my lifestyle. I was already vegetarian, but I became vegan. That means no dairy products. And because of that, I lost 15 kgs of weight.
Yeah.
Within a year.
And you didn't even only lose 15 kilos, but you're telling me that your vegan diet makes you much more satisfied energy-wise.
Yes.
You have more energy?
Yes.
That's the second step for me. Yeah. I love my meat.
Yeah.
And I love my dairy. Dairy. Okay, you know what I mean? So that is a challenge, the next challenge for me to change that. Vishal, thank you for inventing Sumondo.co. It has changed my life. Thank you for the great music in the great app, the music therapy. I love the music that's there. For the meditation exercise, I love the voice of the guiding voice that is on there. It makes me relax a lot. And thank you for counting my steps every day, because that helps me do much more exercise. Thank you for making my life better, Vishal, with Sumondo.co. Great to have you in the studio here, and great to be able to say thank you.
Thank you very much for inviting me on your podcast and getting out there for the audience who can and who should be using these techniques and get benefit out of it, because we are partnering with existing companies like Garmin. We have partnered with their watches. We have more than 10 kind of different watches and bands which are already compatible with Sumondo app. One of these is this, and then we have other brands like Polar, and we are also talking with Apple and Fitbit if they allow to use their data. I hope we will have partnership with them, and then
much more. It's still developing. It's still getting better and better. Much more to come. We got to close this thing down. I would love to have you in the studio again when new things will be on your app. Thank you, Vishal.